to a video on why Ivan Sosa is going to be the best rider for next year and the biggest breakthrough rider. So anyway, this is the Ionica Adriatica. It's a great race. First year, this edition, going up the Passo Giao, which is about 9 kilometers at 9%. And UAE have been setting the pace, but the team, they all look identical, and it's Bardiani CSF there, and they have gone to the front and just decided to launch it for Giulio Ciccone, who's won some decent races this year. He won an overall, and he's also won the stage in the Giro d'Italia 2016. And you can see it starting to string out, really pushing it through the corners in order to stretch out the group as much as possible. The UAE boys are leaving a little bit of space, and you can see Ivan Sosa's in the red kit. He's riding for Androni Sidemek at this moment in time. There's Julian Ciccone just moving up now. And Ivan Sosa just plays it very cool, just looks very calm, very relaxed, and he just knows what's going. He's an absolute lightweight climber, smaller than Egan Bernal by a long way. I'd say very low 50 kilos. So really the time trial is not his forte, but when it goes to going uphill, he's absolutely unbelievable. So you can see here, he moves up into the front, looks pretty chill. He has a very rocking style of the bike. Like, he's not as smooth as some people can be, but he just gets the power out, and he has this absolutely incredible punch at the end of races. He can close down like 10-15 second gaps very easily. So the race is now whittled down some more. Bardiani his lead out man had gone, and it's now Julian Ciccone who's leading it. Ravazzi gets dropped pretty much straight away, and the Gazprom rider also is not really going to feature. So you can see Sosa's just playing it cool. He looks like he's just winding up. He looks like he's in a slightly bigger gear than he should be, and just ready to wind it up at any point and close that gap. Ciccone is doing a solid effort. I mean, Ciccone is signing for Trek, I think it is, next year. He's definitely going World Tour, and you see Ciccone's like, right, I'm going. And Sosa just looks like he's waiting, holding back, and because the gradient is just so steep, it just suits such a pure lightweight climber like him now. Just look at him on the bike. He's just unbelievable. Like, everyone else is labouring behind him, and you can see just very confident. The results he's got this year, he also won the Tour of Sibiu, the Vuelta a Burgos overall as well. He's just destroyed a lot of riders, and I think he's going to go to Sky. He had a contract fallout with Trek because they said he signed. He said he didn't sign, but I think he's going to move to Sky next year, and he's going to be an incredible rider to watch. And any time it goes uphill, any race where there's no time trial for like a week-long race, he can just win. I mean, he closed the gap pretty easily. He's now just on Ciccone's wheel, and Ivan Sosa is just looking very confident. Round this corner, Ciccone is like, right, I'm going. He puts in a little attack, and you can see that it's not too hard for Sosa to follow. I mean, you can barely tell that's an attack because Sosa follows it so well, and it's the punch that he has at the very end. And I'm going to show you in the next clip at the Vuelta a Burgos. He does it on 2 stages, but I'm going to show you the last stage where he won it overall, and he can just put an incredible amount of time into people in such a short space of time. So we've got 2.7 kilometers to go. You can see Ciccone is still on the front, just sort of like, I'm not really sure what his tactic is at the moment, because in reality Ivan Sosa is definitely the favourite. I guess he thinks if he doesn't keep the pace high, here you can see he goes, Ivan Sosa's on the tops, gets onto the drops, closes the gap very easily, and he's like, you know what, stop messing around, mate, I want to win this stage. So he just holds off him a little bit like a track sprinter, gives him some space, just goes straight around him, doesn't even have to go that wide past him, and that's it. Ciccone, like, he looks like he's clever, like he doesn't respond immediately, he's just trying to, you know, slowly wind it up, but you can see now, just like, the gap, around this corner I counted before, he's putting about 1, 2, 3 and a bit seconds already into that, and that was only like 50 meters, and it's just like, that's game over, mate. It's just not going to happen. Camera goes past. Ivan Sosa, he's won the stage, he's won the overall, despite his time trial team not being well. He's been, a lot of World Tour teams were here, and he's just won. You can see the attack again, just absolutely boom. Just no response. And those really short accelerations, he's just so good at. And that's why I think he's going to win so many races next year, just because he'll be able to just ride at the end. He's almost like sort of Valverde-esque with the acceleration that he possesses, that he can just do that, just that last little bit. And you can see he's now just riding off solo, and pretty much has the win in the bag, just coming up to the very last part. I think he put a good 25 seconds or something into it, into Giulio Ciccone already, and that was pretty much it. You can see he looks pretty chilled out. Doesn't look like he's absolutely killed himself. Now, Vuelta a Burgos last stage, and you can see it's a very steep finish, and we have Lopez in the leader's jersey. They finished equal on time last time, and you can see there's a couple riders ahead. Caja Rural, Team Sky have got a couple guys like De La Cruz and Tal Gegenhardt, and Sergio Hinaus on the mountain as well somewhere. You can see Ivan Sosa puts in a big attack now, closes that gap very, very comfortably, and he's definitely putting Lopez into difficulty. On the previous stage, he managed to close about a 12-second gap to Lopez in about a couple hundred meters. But anyway, you can see he went past the Team Sky rider, who I believe is David De La Cruz. Lopez is really trying to struggle, because basically, if they were on the same time, so any time that Anytime that Sosa puts in on this stage, he basically wins the overall. So it's basically come down to a battle of this. And you can see he's put in a huge gap already. And Lopez, at this moment in time, you think Lopez is just going to close the gap. Like, it doesn't look that bad. But he just keeps pushing it out. He just has this incredible ability at the end of races to just really, really, like, look at the gap that's already coming out. And it's like, it's only a couple hundred meters to go. He only attacked with, 400 or 500 meters to go. And he's already putting at least a 5 to 10 second gap in him. And this, like, acceleration is just ridiculous, especially on steep climbs. Like, obviously the flatter ones won't suit him as much, like 5-6% is not going to be great. But when it gets up to, like, 8, 9, 10% for a long period of time, he's just going to absolutely fly up them. And even look now, like, I like the way he rocks on the bike. You can show he's giving absolutely everything. When he's at the saddle, he really throws the bike around. And he has such a beautiful style on the bike, in my opinion. Not necessarily the smoothest, but just looks like he's just absolutely like flying up the climb. You can see he's just in the saddle, just spinning it up. Not crazy high cadence, but just looks like proper on the bike. And you'll see that the time difference. So 3 minutes 26:38, and look at the time difference. And this is only 500 meters, and he's already putting at least 6 seconds into Miguel Angel Lopez, who is a world-class rider. He's finished on the podium of the Giro d'Italia before and won the young riders, and he puts an easy 18 seconds into him in the last 500 meters of a stage, and Lopez was going for the Vuelta a España. So there you go. What an absolute legend Ivan Sosa is. I think he's going to do incredibly well next year, and I think on Team Sky he's just going to flourish massively. Anyway, cheers for watching. What are your thoughts on Ivan Sosa? Will he be the next Bernal? Will he be better than Bernal? In my opinion, they're different riders, but he's still going to do incredibly well next season.